have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Like, why did you do that at your event? Nobody here thinks what you did was okay. Nobody thinks it.
Really,
Nobody
it's
thinks
horrible.
it. And I'm not here to take accountability and counsel about who thinks what, right?
Do you care about?
Right? But do you care about
How is it
what
affecting you?
Is my question. I'm not saying sorry for it.
Gertie, I did not agree with what you did last week. That stunt you pulled on last week's episode at your event that was supposed to be about you surviving cancer, I didn't like that. I will say though, I respect the fact that you standing 10 toes down on it and you giving 0 Fs. And you know what? You're right. These girls are acting like what you did was the worst thing in the world, and like being physically assaulted is no big thing. Can we get into it, guys? Welcome to my channel where I do weekly recaps of all of the Real Housewives. That's right, every franchise, every city, every episode, every week. And today we are here to discuss the Real Housewives of Miami Season 7, Episode 8. Before we do so, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't hesitate to leave a comment up in the comment section. Now, this week's episode, once again, we start off with them throwing Julia right up in our faces. And I'm dead serious. I'm like, is it just me, or does it seem like ever since she pulled that little stunt where she threw the water on Gertie and physically assaulted her, it seemed like mostly every episode after that starts off with Julia being the first thing we see. Like, literally, when it came on, as soon as her came on, I was like, are you kidding me? Bravo, bravo, bravo. Like, are y'all starting to mess with me now? Y'all messing with me? Why I keep starting it off with this chick? But anyway, it's a little joke, though. But it's like they really have been showing her a lot in these episodes. The first person we see. But anyway, it's her and mean Martina. So anyway, she's with Martina. They're at some type of dock, some type of boat dock or whatever. The kids are with the nanny. They have one of the dogs with them. And they're talking about what happened at Gertie's event. And Julia basically feels like she thought they were good. She's telling Martina what surprises her even more is the fact that Adriana didn't run out behind her when she left out. And she also starts to feel like, you know, what's up? Does Adriana have my back? And she's questioning Adriana's friendship. So now she's telling Martina how Adriana did eventually come out and wanted her to go back in and talk to Gertie. And she says she did go back in for one reason, to find out why Gertie did this. So she went to ask Gertie why she did this. And this is what Gertie said.
What are you here for? Go home. Girl, bye. No class. And coming with sneakers on. Cocktail chic, baby.
So now Martina is like, I got on sneakers. You know, I wore these to the Royal Box. These are Chanel or whatever. So she like, oh, they good enough for the Royal Box, but they not good enough for Julia, I guess Martina. So anyway, so Julia is now telling her how, oh, I thought that after we had our conversation and had our little sit down that we was going to move forward and we was on the same page. Really, Julia? That's what you thought, girl? You got a lot to learn, baby girl. So now Martina is saying how she feel like, oh, wow, she don't believe that Gertie wasted her event. Pretty much like made this a part of her event that was supposed to be surviving cancer. And remember, Martina's also a cancer survivor, so I can understand her feeling the way she feels about that. But other than the other thing, girl, bye. Next scene we going over, we see Stephanie and Larsa. Larsa's meeting up with Stephanie because Stephanie's showing her soon-to-be home, because it's actually Masood's home from his previous wedding. So that's his previous marital home, and she didn't want to move in it, so they got a condo. And I guess they was going to break it down or sell it or whatever, but then she decided that she just wanted to redo the whole house, like gut it and just make it in her own way. She don't want no reminders of his ex-wife. She don't want to feel like out with one wife and with the next. You know, one wife moved out, the next wife moved in. Sort of like what Letitia and Qua did. Letitia did with Dr. Gregory and what Portia did with Simon. Sorry, strays for everybody. So yeah. So she's giving Larsa a tour of the place. We find out actually that Masood is Persian because she said when she first saw the house, she felt like it looked too Persian for her. It was just like, they showed a picture of the house and I see what she mean. It did give very, castle type. I don't know what it was giving, but she said she said she thought a genie was going to come out of the chimney. So basically they're doing a lot of work. It looked like they got a long way to go because they're doing construction on the place or whatever. Because when she first came in, she was like, guys, could you stop drilling and working for a minute? Because she was trying to talk and she couldn't hear herself. So now she's showing Larsa her closet. That's going to be closet. It's over 1,000 square feet. And she has a wall that's going to be dedicated to have for all her Birkins is going to be lined up on that one wall. The backyard, by the way, is huge. So she's basically touring the house with Larsa. And then they get to talking about the other night at Gertie's event. And they saying how it was crazy. But Stephanie is pretty much more talking about her argument with Alexia. And she felt like, she asked Larsa actually, does she talk to everybody like that? And Stephanie like, she feel like you always bringing up Todd and she don't like that. And Stephanie's like, all I said was, when God takes out the trash for you, you don't go back in digging for the trash. It ain't like I'm always talking about him. Stephanie, you kind of are. You did mention his name in every episode since you've been on the show. When you met Alexia for the first time, that was your first comment to her. That should not have been how you introduce yourself. You should not have showed up with that. So I can understand Alexia, why she feels the way she feels about you. Even though I don't care much for Alexia, but I'm on her side with this one, sis. Okay, Steph? But yeah, so now Stephanie is saying how, well, damn, girl, I haven't been to one good event yet with y'all, like, and Larsa's like, oh, you gonna have fun at the boat party, trust me. So we find out that Larsa and Kiki actually planned a overnight yacht excursion for the girls. They had planned this before Gertie's event, and it was going to be one yacht with all the girls. But since that all went down, she was like, oh shit, so now they're going to get 2 yachts so they can separate the girls into 2 groups because there's a lot of tension right now going on with some of the girls. So we see a flashback of her and Kiki planning it. They're calling to go and secure the second boat. And then they're sitting down and they're basically deciding who's going to be on whose yacht. So Kiki on her yacht, she's going to have Lisa, Gertie, Adriana. First she tried to give Adriana to Larsa, and Larsa was like, I don't want Adriana, you can take her. So then they was going to put Marisol and Kiki both. But they ended up calling Marisol to tell her and see if that was okay with her. And Marisol was like, I don't like it. I don't know. I don't trust her. We don't get along. She might sneak in my room and try to kill me in the middle of the night. Dramatic. So they was like, all right. So Larsa was like, all right, I'll put you on my boat. So now Larsa's going to put Marisol on her boat, which is also going to have Alexia, Stephanie, and who am I missing? Julia. See, girl, I forgot about you. You forget. So the next scene we get is over at Alexia's place. And at first I was like, wait a minute, is this the place that she was living at with Todd? The one he done moved on up out of there on her own? But then we find out that she went and got her a rental property for her and the boys. Because she was like, when he started acting crazy, like he didn't know what he want to do, she said, let me go over here and get me a little rental property so I could, be on point. So she got her little rental property. It's month to month. She said that's perfect for her because her life is so complicated right now. But in reality, Alexia, baby girl, you ain't fooling me, sis. You waiting for Todd to be like, oh, baby, I miss you. I made a mistake. I want to be back together. And then that's when you going to leave and move back in with him. I clocked that, sis. It's okay. But anyway, so her son Peter, he has come by to visit. So Peter's there and they're talking about Frankie because Frankie has been vomiting and things like that. So she's like, she went to go get him checked out and he was diagnosed with something that I can't pronounce. So it's something that he has to basically do a specific diet to help cure. So she gets to talking about how when Peter was laying in a hospital bed, laying there, when Frankie was in a hospital bed and Peter came in, it made her think about 11 years ago when Frankie had the accident. So she was like, Peter came in and I was crying, and they started talking about that. And not for nothing, I'm gonna keep it real. This scene was so fake to me. Alexia was fake crying. It just seemed like, girl, I don't know how many times you rehearsed the scene, but you probably needed to rehearse another 15 to 20 times. Because I wasn't buying the emotions in the scene. It was just like, anyway, I was waiting for the next scene. So now, she's saying how when it happened, Peter went out of somewhere, then he came back, and then Herman, her second husband, had died. And it was just so much going on. So she starts getting emotional, and they're talking about that, and I'm just like, child, bye. So now we find out that Peter's gonna be Frankie's guardian, when she's no longer with us. And it sounded like in the flashback, it sounded like she was saying that she didn't put him as the guardian, but she said that he's basically matured, he stepped it up, he's more relaxed and cool now, so she felt like he got this. He's telling her he got this. So I guess he's going to be Frankie's legal guardian. Should something to Alexia. End scene. Because this was one big failed production. Sorry, that's just how I felt about the whole thing. So next we see Gertie meeting up with Dr. Nicole. Hey girl, how you been, sis? Good to see you. So yeah, they're meeting up at a restaurant, and we find out that Dr. Nicole had her baby girl. We found out the baby was born 6 to 7 weeks early, so she had to stay in the hospital after Nicole was at discharged, so they can keep her, like, I guess, in an incubator or whatever. But the baby's good now. She said the baby looks like her dad to her. She talks about her dad for a while, because her dad just died suddenly at the end of last season. So during, after they finished filming, during the end of the show actually airing, that's when we found out he passed away, and they talked about it at the reunion. They showed the flashback. So they catch up with each other. Dr. Nicole looked good. She had this cute little green, it was a Hermes alligator Birkin bag, over $96K, matching shoes, the same color. It was like a real cute, pale, light, soft green. Real cute. So yeah, so they catch up. So now we find out that Nicole has been actually going through postpartum. So, she's going through that. So now they get to talking about the girls, and that's when Gertie tells her about Stephanie, brings up Stephanie and tells her Stephanie's cool or whatever. And Dr. Nicole was like, yeah, I heard of her, but I never met her. So then that's when Gertie FaceTimes Stephanie for a quick hi and bye. So they like, hey, they speak or whatever. Stephanie in her confessional makes a remark about, she was like, oh, she knew Stephanie. She already knew Dr. Nicole was definitely a hot girl, because, they had something in common. Because Stephanie actually dated Anthony, who's Lisa's baby daddy, Lisa's man, fiance, whatever you want to call it. Because they're not married and they don't care about getting married. So, yeah, Stephanie says in her confessional she knew Anthony was going places because she already saw the potential he had or whatever. But she was like, let's just say, I'm not one to brag, but my jet is big, bigger. Like, trying to say that I guess her and Masu's jet is bigger than Nicole's and Anthony's, because we know Dr. Nicole and Anthony got a jet as well. So they hi and bye. They end the call. So now they get to talking about the event, and we find out Dr. Nicole was actually supposed to go to Gertie's event, but she couldn't make it. So Gertie tells her how the girls was all gagging and making a big deal about the text messages, and she did it because she wanted to prove her point. she felt like the girls didn't really hear her when she was singing it. It was like whatever. So she was like, I'm gonna make it clear. So Dr. Nicole tells her, as your friend, I told you the comment you made about the facelift. I was like, that was wrong. You shouldn't have said that. But at the end of the day, what's going on with Julia? And she wants to know because she felt like we was all friends. So it seemed like Julia changed. And she clocks that she felt like Julia wants to be friends. It's like high school. She see Alexia and Marisol and Larsa as the cool girls. So it's like she want to be down with the cool girls. It's like you made friends with these girls, but now you met some girls that's popular, and you like ready to ditch your friends for the cool girls. And like Gertie said, a pick me. But anyway, Gertie is like, girl, when did you come back? What we gotta do to get you back in the group? And Dr. Nicole's like, girl, TBD. Nice seeing you again, Dr. Nicole. So now it's time for the day of the yacht excursion. And it's 2 different yachts, Kiki, Larsa. We see them both arriving, and we see the girls arriving on each yacht separately. I noticed Lisa was actually one of the first ones to arrive. Lisa was there with a girl she knows that Kiki also knows, a friend named Ebony. And I'm like, Lisa, I noticed that you was early for Watch What Happens Live. You showed up early for, I think it was Gertie's event. And now you early for this. Okay, Lisa, I see the improvement. I doubted you, but okay, let me find out. You done proved me wrong, okay? Made me a liar. So yeah, so now everybody's arriving on each other's yacht. Alexia's not too crazy about being on the same yacht with Stephanie. She makes a joke in her confessional about not having to throw Stephanie overboard. However, Stephanie is actually leaving early because little do we know is that Masood already done set up a date night for them over in Canada. They showed a flashback when he left her the roses and a note. So she's going to dip off from this excursion but then rejoin them later. That is fabulous. Date night in a whole nother country, honey, all right? I'll get back with y'all. I'm going to fly to Canada real quick. So a little boat going to come pick her up at some point in this excursion and take her off to go meet up with her man. So on Kiki's boat, Kiki is telling Adriana how Marisol was originally supposed to be on this yacht with them, but Marisol didn't want to be on the same yacht with Adriana because she felt like Adriana's going to be too much and she don't got time for Adriana's shenanigans. So Adriana feels some type of way about that. Marisol is also telling the ladies over on Larsa's yacht how she didn't want to be on the yacht with Adriana because she ain't got time for the digs. It's going to be on and on. She don't know when to stop. She not here for Adriana. Julia is like, I could relate to you because I don't feel comfortable about being on the same boat with Gertie. I don't know how that would have worked out. Over on Kiki's boat, Adriana is going in on Marisol. She's like, she's a manipulator. She's like the ringleader, saying how she got bony knees, like ashy bony knees and stuff like that. And basically just going in about her having fake Birkins and cubic zirconia rings.
It's just cunning. The fake Birkin bags and the cubic zirconia rings will not absolve you from the evilness of your soul.
Kiki is saying in her confessional she regrets telling Adriana what Marisol said because now Adriana is on 10, okay? Back over on Larsa's yacht, she's asking Stephanie and Alexia, like, are you guys cool now? And they're like, Stephanie's like, I don't dislike Alexia, she just be coming at me crazy sometimes. And Alexia's like, girl, well, I'm aggressive, this and that. So Stephanie said, well, I'm like a cool girl, some type of animal. She said, like a cat, like a one of those alley cat type animals. And that's when Alexia was like, I'm a lion. And then Stephanie said she was some type of dog, I think. And then Alexia was like, I'm like a Rottweiler. Basically, I guess they were like having a dick measuring contest. Anyway, so now the boats actually meet up. So now that the boat's meeting up, the girls get to see each other, and Adriana is immediately going in on Marisol. Marisol is like, see, that's why I didn't get on that boat, because I don't have time for this. So now, as the girls is talking, Adriana is still on her yacht. She's still on us where they coming across the yacht at, and she's yelling like, my best friend's supposed to be over here with me, but they got her over there with them because she want to be down with the cool girls and this and that. So we see Stephanie, she's trying to let the girls know that she's about to leave, but as she's trying to say that, all you hear is Adriana like, with your bony wrinkled knees.
That you guys have a great time and there's no arguing for one.
Your bony knees, because they need it. Your wrinkled knees.
So now Stephanie makes her exit, to go see her man for her little date night. And Larsa is going to go get on a jet ski, and Alexia is going to get on with her. So as she's going to get on a jet ski, Marisol is admiring her ass. I must say, Larsa, I don't care much for mostly your plastic surgery and the work you had done, but your ass, that was a good one. Your ass definitely look good. You got a nice ass, Larsa. That's one of the few things the doctor got right. So yeah. So now, as they're doing that, the other girls from Kiki's yacht, which consists of Kiki, Lisa, Adriana, and Ebony. Gertie's not there yet, but she's part of that yacht too, but she's not there yet. She's gonna meet up with them actually when they meet up for dinner later. So they're changed into their yacht wear, whatever, their yacht outfits, and Kiki is in the bathroom filling up water guns because they're about to go soak the other girls other girls little to their knowledge. Okay? So now they all come up with their little James Bond names, some silly James Bond names. So now they sneak around the yachts to go and run up on the other girls and start soaking them with the water guns. So they're having fun doing that. But of course, old lady Marisol feels away. She's upset. Oh, Adriana's doing too much. I'm mad. Oh my gosh, I'm the wicked witch and I can't get wet because I'm gonna melt. Like, girl. Even Lisa was like, girl, we just trying to lighten the mood and have some fun. Like, girl, live a little, okay? Live a little. Like, no shade. Even Alexia was laughing and having fun, and they was bringing her up too, and you saw her running and laughing. Larsa was even laughing. So Marisol fell away, and Adriana is like, girl, you just mad because you have a vendetta against me, so anything I do, you're going to have a problem with. So now, when she's saying that, Larsa starts spraying her with the water gun. And Larsa was like, oh, I was always good at that game at the carnival. So they tell Adriana to open her mouth. Larsa spraying the thing in her mouth like a carnival game. So that kind of lightens up the mood. And Marisol in her confessional was like, oh, no, at least now I know how she pays her rent. And earlier when Adriana said about her bony, wrinkled knees. She said in her confessional, these bony, wrinkled knees had 3 husbands, girl. So, okay, something must be right. She must know how to get on those bony, wrinkled knees. Okay, honey? So, yeah, now, Larsa lets the ladies know that they have an hour to get themselves together before dinner to get ready for dinner. So, the girls go off to get ready for dinner. They're doing their thing or whatever. But Julia and Adriana go up on the upper deck to go talk. So Julia is asking Adriana how come she didn't come out behind her and come out with her at Gertie's event. Why was she on Gertie's side? And Adriana is saying, I don't agree with Gertie did. I think it was wrong. But at the same time, I'm going to hear both sides of the story and I'm playing the mediator. You know what I'm saying? So Julia feels like does feel like Adriana doesn't have her back. Adriana feels like Julia started all of this by throwing the water on Gertie in the first place. So they're going back and forth, and as they're going back and forth, you see Kiki is about to come to the upper deck. So she's at the staircase, and she's debating on, should I go up or should I just stay here? So she decides to stay on the stairs and just catch the tea. So they're basically going back and forth. Julia is basically as they bringing up all types of stuff and they're going back and forth. So yeah, Julia feels like Adriana feels some type of way because now she's cool with Alexia and Marisol, that they like her now. And Adriana told her, like, these are the same girls who was coming for me last year that made stuff, say stuff, and did stuff about to me or whatever, and now you want to be friends with them? Like, you ain't had my back last year, so now you mad at me for not having your back? Anyway, hold on to that thought, honey. All right? And Adriana, in her confessional, she feels like Gertie showing the text messages was benign. Like, that wasn't as serious as Julia throwing a drink on her, so she don't understand why the ladies is acting like what Gertie did was worse than what Julia did. And me too. Thank you. I feel the same way. I don't understand that either, Adriana, because I'm like, y'all mean to tell me y'all okay with her being physically assaulted and this girl throwing water on her at a nice restaurant at Marisol's wedding party, but now you have an issue at Gertie showing text messages at her own event, which was the event space that used to be a church? Keyword being used to be. But it's like, I feel like the girls are so much gagging, they're clutching their pearls, they're so beside themselves over this. But where was that energy when Julia threw the drink in Gertie's face? Why nobody was beside themselves then? It's like that was okay. But now what Gertie did is like the worst thing in the world. Y'all bitches is really getting on my nerves. If Alexia did this, or Larsa or Marisol did this, it would not be as much outrage. If Julia did this to Gertie, it would not have been as much outrage. Maybe it's not because she's black, but they don't rock with Gertie like that for whatever reason, so they're holding her to a higher standard. And I'm keeping that. Miami bitches, don't make me upset, all right? I'm not playing with y'all bitches because I feel like y'all trying to ice Gertie and Julia out. And baby, Gertie is bringing it this season, okay? So anyway, now it's time for dinner. And Gertie, let me raise my seat up, girl, sorry. So now Gertie arrives. She arrives dressed in all pink, baby. Gertie, this boy hair, it fits you. You look good with your boy hair, baby. Stop wearing all these tacky wigs you've been wearing. All right, so now Gertie arrives. She greets everybody. You can tell Julia is obviously uneasy. So Lisa feels the tension. She senses the tension. So she's like, you know what? Let's break the ice. Let's do this. She wants to play a game where each lady says something nice about the other. So she starts off with Marisol and Adriana. Adriana says that she likes the fact, she thinks Marisol has a good sense of fashion, sense of style. And you know, I forgot what else she said. But basically her style. So Marisol had to think. So they're like, Marisol, something nice. And Marisol was like, let me think. So as she thinking, they show like the little thought bubble on her head. And in that bubble, they have flashes of Adriana just coming for her throughout the seasons. So now she goes, all right, I like the fact that she could play the piano. I wish I could play the piano. So they're like, oh, that's nice, Marisol. So now Lisa wants Gertie and Julia to go. So Gertie goes about Julia, I think that you have a good heart and you're a compassionate person. The fact that you're doing this with the boys, you know? So now Julia goes and she thinks that Gertie knows how to throw an event. She likes the fact that she can say how she feels candidly. But then she says she can't hide how she feels. She fell away. She don't understand where they went wrong. Where did we go left? We had our sit down, so why are we still here? Gertie said, well, what you may have felt is a different version of what I feel. You know what I'm saying? She was like, you brought it back up. You know, Julia said, I brought it up and asked Zendu about it because he was there and I thought he could help us. And that's when Gertie was like, well, you know, that was your intentions, but that, you know, that didn't sit well with me. And I did what I needed to do, although it may not have been, you know, as conducive for you or whatever. So now Alexia decides she wants to ask Gertie, can I ask you a question? Why did you do what you did at your event? So Gertie, it was like, you know, I did what I did, and I'm not explaining myself. I don't feel like I don't have it. So Alexia is like, nobody here is okay with what you did. We all think this was bad. Marisol was on the side like, yeah, that was dirty, dirty. So Gertie is like, well, I didn't come here for nobody, to tell me what they think. I didn't come here to explain myself or justify myself. Like, I don't gotta explain myself to y'all, and I'm not apologizing. I said what I said. So Jody, she's in her confessional, and she's like, I'll answer to these ladies, baby. Like, I am a lonely lioness, not a following sheep. I hear you. Same here, girl. I don't live by societal standards. I live by my own rules. I'm who I want to be. I show up in this world the way I choose to show up, not the way I was told I had to show up. And I'm here for that, Gertie. Okay? For the lonely lionesses up in the world. Okay? Lonely lions and lionesses. So, anyway, that's not good enough for Alexia. She still wants answers. And Gertie is just basically like, girl, like, did you even read the text messages? Because the context you looking for is in them text messages that I posted, hence the reason I did so. Alexia was like, no, I didn't read the text messages. So Gertie is like, girl, like, at this point, why are we even having this conversation? There's nothing to talk about. You ain't even read the text messages, girl, so bye. Miss me with that. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. So now in their confessionals, they're asking the ladies, like, did you see the text messages? And they all like, no. So they ask, like, do you want to see them? And here go Larsa. She's like, that's like 5,000 text messages. Okay, I'll read them. So they start reading the text messages. So that was a funny little confessional moment. It was cute. Now, while this is going on, Julia notices how Adriana is over at the bar trying to figure out how to get a bottle of wine open or whatever. So she's like, well, damn, Adriana's supposed to be my friend. And I know that she over there more concerned about getting a bottle of wine open than she is defending me. And I'm supposed to be her friend. Julia, what do you expect from her? Like, you not riding or dying for her. So why should she ride or die for you? You became besties with her ops. Julia, like, honestly, I just think Julia isn't all the way there. Not to say something is wrong with her mentally. I just think that she's not in touch. She's out of touch. Like, she doesn't, like, have any self-awareness to realize certain things. And that's why I have a concern with her having these young black boys, because she's unaware of issues that they may be subject to in the future, and she may not be the person for them to go to have those conversations with. I feel like when she was having that meeting with the person from the adoption place, that they should have asked her, being that you're a white woman raising black kids, how do you plan on going about that so they can learn their culture, and also they can be ready for how they may show up in the world according to other people. Maybe they had that conversation, but they didn't show it. I just think she needs some help with that, because I'm concerned. I'm not concerned that she's going to do any harm or damage to them boys. I'm concerned she's not going to know how to deal with them and some of the issues that they may face in their life being young black men in this world. Anyway, so that's the end of dinner. So the next scene we get is it's the next day. We see the girls are getting themselves together. We see Kiki making sure she's securing her vibrator. I'm like, girl. So at one point we see that Alexia and Larsa, they're sitting out on one of the decks, and Marisol comes to join them. So when she joins them, Larsa FaceTimes Stephanie to go check up on her and see how she's doing and what time she'll be back. Stephanie's like, I'll be back soon. It was a quick little date, quick little date out of the country or whatever. So then Stephanie asked Larsa, where's the Rottweiler at? The Rottweiler. So they like, what you mean? So she like, Alexia. So Alexia was like, wait a minute, did you just call me a Rottweiler? And Stephanie was like, yeah, you called yourself a Rottweiler. Remember, you said you was a Rottweiler. So now Alexia is highly offended. Like, don't call me no dog. Don't refer to me as no dog. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and Stephanie was like, that's what you called yourself. So anyway, Alexia is in her feelings about that. Larsa gets off the phone with Stephanie. And Larsa in her confessional, she's like, damn, I think it was just a joke. Like, I feel like people were jealous of Stephanie. Like, cause Alexia was like, if you like, why you were calling me a Rottweiler? You supposed to be on your little vacation in Canada with your perfect husband, living your perfect life. And it was given, are you a little jealous, Alexia? Because Todd don't want you? Let me find out. And I remember also, what episode was that? Was it a last episode or a couple of episodes ago? When they was arguing, I think it was outside a Gertie party when Stephanie was like something about you're married to a psycho or something like that, and that's when Alexia was like, if your life is so perfect, why the fuck you on this show or whatever. So yeah, Alexia, I do sense a little bit of jealousy there, just like you was jealous of Dr. Nicole, because honey, you got totally offended when she pulled out her black card on y'all hoes. That's another thing about y'all Miami bitches. Y'all be getting mad about the littlest things. Like, Gertie getting water thrown on her is not that bad. But Gertie showing text messages on the screen wasn't that bad. It wasn't salacious text messages. It wasn't text messages exposing nothing, like, scandalous. It wasn't no images of her doing nothing, like, X-rated, explicit, or anything like that. Then I remember last year, y'all had y'all panties in a bunch about Dr. Nicole pulling out her black card when y'all had that doctor, that psychiatrist there, whatever, that person there that was helping y'all out, and Dr. Nicole wanted more. She wanted more one-on-one. She wanted more like time with him. She wanted him to focus on her more, and y'all was trying to breeze past it. So she went and grabbed her black card like, I'm paying for your services. And baby, they got upset. Really, they was highly offended by that. So it's like, y'all bitches be offended by the wrong things, about the littlest things, but the things y'all should be offended by, y'all just look past it. Anyway, guys, that was the episode. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. For me, on a scale from 1 to 5, I'm going to be honest with you. When I watched the episode the first time, I was like, oh, this episode was kind of average. I wasn't really paying attention. I was on my phone. I was distracted. But then when I watched it the second time to go ahead and take my notes, I actually did enjoy watching the episode more the second time when I actually sat down and paid attention to it. So on a scale from 1 to 5, I'm going to still be honest. I'm going to have to give this episode a 3. It was an average episode. It was a good episode. It was solid. It wasn't a 4 like the other episodes. But I will say, Miami, y'all have been having a solid season. There hasn't been one whack episode yet, in my opinion. We're 8 episodes in. We about at the halfway point right here. If this episode doesn't mark the halfway point of the season, then I'm assuming by next episode we should see that mid-season trailer. Because I'm assuming after next episode, we will be officially halfway through the season. Isn't this moving quick, guys? It seemed like I just started Miami, and I was like, we already 8 episodes in. We almost halfway there. We done wrapped up Atlanta last week. So now it's just Miami. Please make sure you also check out my recaps of Real Housewives of Orange County, which premiere one day after my recaps for Real Housewives of Miami. If you don't watch Orange County, girl, get in. It's only 3 episodes so far this season. It's not too late for you to catch up to the season. And get into my reviews, child. And if you don't want to watch the show, then just watch my reviews, all right? Anyway, guys, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't hesitate to leave a comment. Oh, by the way, I also did watch the Watch What Happens live episode because Julia was on it. Honestly, I didn't want to watch it because I don't care for Julia, but I wanted to see how the audience reacted to her versus Gertie, because I knew they was going to ask the question of whose side the audience was on. And the people's is on Gertie's side. The people's is definitely on Gertie's side. The people's feel like Julia is definitely trying to be down with the cool girls and not being loyal. The people see right through you, Julia, and they see that you are a fraud. And then she was up there with, what's his name? The designer, Isaac Mizrahi. And he got the nerve to say, oh, I'm glad she threw that drink in that lady face. I mean, I like her, but what else would we be talking about? Huh? He tried to clean it up later, but I was like, what? Anyway, gag. But yeah, so she did gave some half-ass apology to Gertie. Talk about some, she was apologizing, but as she was saying it, she was like, even though I did already apologize, like, girl, Julia, like, you just making me dislike you more and more. You did look beautiful though, however, girl, but girl, like, I just don't see it for you. Anyway, guys, catch me on the next video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's SummerSlam weekend. Where all my WrestleMania fans at, okay? Yes, by the way, also, Andy also asked Julia about this repost that Martina had reposted because I don't know if you guys are aware, but I be paying attention to what happens outside of the show as well. But Martina had reposted a post on one of those social media platforms where somebody had posted something about surrogacy and being against surrogacy. It basically was a post that was anti-surrogacy or basically judging people. It had something to do with surrogacy. And Martina reposted it, and you know how you repost it with a quote. She quote posted it, reposted it, and wrote like, can't have everything. So people was feeling like, wait a minute, who are you to judge people for doing surrogacy when you are a gay lesbian woman who adopted 2 black boys? So it's okay for you to adopt, but it's not good for people to get surrogacy? Like, huh? It was very judgmental, very out of touch. And it was just, yeah. I don't know if she deleted the post or not by now. But yeah, Andy did ask Julia about that. And Julia pretty much gave, you know, she doesn't share the same opinion as Martina. And she doesn't agree with that. And she don't have no control over Julia's account. That's what Andy threw a bone at her, like, you know, and you don't have no account over that. And she was like, no, I don't. But she wasn't going to say that at first. And then they also talked about the facelift situation, and Andy asked her. So she tried to say, she going to say, by the way, just to set the record straight, I ain't going to, I didn't fly to, was it Paris or wherever? I didn't fly to Paris to get a facelift. I went there to visit my daughter. And Andy was like, and to get a facelift. Clock it, Andy. Anyway, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't hesitate to leave a comment. And I will see you all on the next one. It's WrestleMania weekend, SummerSlam weekend. I'm sorry. Where my wrestling fans at? Who watching SummerSlam? See ya.